Okay, here's some of the other changes that are coming up. Again, not exhaustive list, but I wanted to cover these ones because the reason I picked these two is other states may copy these in the future. So even if your state isn't on the list for a particular law, it doesn't mean it won't ever be on the list. Could be next year. All the income tax brackets moved up about 5.4% for the feds. Again, that's consistent with kind of what we saw on the previous slide for what the federal did, except for per diem. So what you're going to see is if somebody gets the exact same pay every week, their December 29 pay and their January 5 pay are going to be different because they're going to pay a little less tax unless they got a raise or something, but then they wouldn't have the same pay. Alabama has a rule starting 1/1/24 that overtime pay for a non-exempt employee, that means an employee who is allowed to get overtime pay or has to be paid overtime for hours over 40, the overtime pay is not subject to Alabama income tax. But it'd make more sense at the federal level because you get taxed higher brackets on your overtime because it's higher marginal pay, but Alabama's not that. It's progressive, but not that progressive of tax brackets. So I don't understand it. Thing that matters here is 18 other states are considering this. California has a number of new laws. I highlighted two of them. Overtime threshold is 2 times minimum wage. Minimum wage in California in 2024 is $16 an hour. So the overtime threshold, by the overtime threshold, we mean like how to pay somebody salary and make them exempt from overtime, you have to pay them so much. And the federal limit's about $30,000. For California, it's going to be higher than that. It's going to be basically $32 an hour times 40 times 52. They keep moving theirs up. They set a new law now that we're not going to wait for the feds to do anything because the feds go back and forth. We're just going to do what we do. California has a new law for this. I know this doesn't affect us, but I just want to give a little sympathy to somebody else here. Fast food minimum wage in California is $20 an hour. It's not officially law yet. It's expected to be signed by the governor anytime. Illinois, we have clients in Illinois. They paid leave. They have to provide 40 hours of paid leave for any reason for a full-time employee starting now. Michigan has a similar law right now. So that paid leave is now a requirement. Maryland is going to enact paid family leave October of next year. Minnesota has an interesting law. It's a pay history ban. When someone is applying for a job in Minnesota or being interviewed for a job in Minnesota, even if it's in the same company, you can't ask what they were getting paid before. It is absolutely not allowed. So the idea is that if somebody was underpaid at their current job, these other people think they can hire them and have to pay them less. And they're trying to get rid of that. New York, their salary threshold, California is twice minimum wage. New York's is going up to $1,300 a week flat to be considered salary. Vermont's gonna have a child care tax paid by the company and the employee. That's coming up soon. And I point that out because I think there's going to be more stuff like that. Any of them could come to any state, and all of them could come to any state. So it just gets more complicated, and we want to help you guys stay aware of them so you know what's going on.